Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Jason with Jadren Aquatics. Thank you so much for joining me again on part 3 of the Fishroom update, where we're also going over some of the things having to do with the breeding for profit tank. We're going to finish up with the last probably 18 or so tanks, go over some of the fish that are in there, and again help try to make the decision on what we want to add to the 55 to make it the breeding for profit tank. You need to keep in mind also something that I didn't really mention is I want to keep 3 different species in there. I want to keep Plecostomus, and then I want to keep some kind of shrimp, and then I also want to keep probably some kind of live bearer. So keep in mind that we need to have fish that aren't going to predate on other fish. So, or that aren't going to be predators towards the shrimp. Now, of course, some of them will eat some of the smaller shrimp, but for the most part, it needs to be something that is going to be able to not try to constantly chase and eat the shrimp. So most likely, it's probably going to be some type of guppy. So, all right, so let's go ahead and let's start, and let's go tank by tank and check it out. In this tank, we have the auto sinkless, probably 6 or 7 of them. You can kind of all see them back there in the back. And then I also have the Nebula Steel Guppies. The Nebula Steels, I have lost all of the first 5 I got, I think, except for this female. But the good thing is they did have fry before I lost them. So there's probably about 15 or 20 or so fry that are in here. If you remember that I talked about in the previous video, the struggle that I was having with my hardness issues. And I think that's why I've been losing as many as I have. So I'm working on getting that taken care of. If you go back and watch the previous video, part 1 of the fish room, I'll talk a lot more about that. Okay, this tank right here, we've got the Japanese blue guppies. As you can probably see by this male right here, they have a sword on them. These I originally got from Michael. I lost the first male within the first couple of days, but I still have the females, and as you can see, they've had fry. This one, that male there, that is one of the fry that's growing up. There's another male in here I saw yesterday. Not sure where he is, but he's also getting some really beautiful blue on him and starting to grow his sword also. So these are some of the ones I really, really like. Again, you see the plastic grass that's up here. If you're curious where this plastic grass comes from, watch that first video. It'll tell you a little bit about it. Okay, here we have the Panda Guppies. As you can see, this is the original male that I got. He's still doing fantastic. There is, I think there's still 2 females in here. I don't see them right now. They're probably up in the grass, but I know that there's some fry. There's probably, there's one up there. It seemed like there's 5 or 6 in here that I counted the other day. Okay, so now we come to the half black guppy tank. Now, this is the tank that I've had by far the most problems with. This colony at one time, I think, had probably 100 fish in it total. Obviously a ton of fry. But right now, this guy appears to be the only one that I have left. I don't know what the heck is going on with this tank. If he wasn't still alive, I would just take the whole tank apart in fear that, you know, maybe some chemical or something got in it at the fish store. But this guy keeps on living, but the problem is he's stunted. He has to be 3 months old, but he's still about the size of a 2-week-old fry. So I think I'm just going to probably move him to another tank, take this tank down, just take it offline altogether. It's not painted anyway, so it's not really even ready to be up. Okay, here we have the purple Moscow Guppies. When I got these, I was given quite a few of them, so this is pretty much almost all the originals. I think because there's so many in here that not very many of the fry have survived, so I began to separate the mothers out into different tanks. Some of the males are seem to have a little bit too much black in them, but then there's this one male right here whose color looks really, really good. His tail looks a little rough, but his coloring is good. So I'm gonna try to work with these guys to try to cull out some of the ones that don't have as much, or that have too much black in them. Okay, so here we have the Bluegrass Guppy tank. As you can see, like I said before, these are one of the most prolific ones that I have. These guys just breed absolutely like crazy. Again, I've got another tank over there that's got a bunch of babies growing out on them. So as you can see, this male right here, I like the end of his tail, but just the coloring to me is just a little, it's just a little too drab. Drab. What kind of word is that? That's not a word a man uses. Sorry. His tail is kind of bland. How about that? All right, but these guys are doing good. Next here we have the Spanish Dancers. These are again another one that I suggested might be one of the ones that I use as the breeding for profit tank. They're another one that I got from a local breeder here, so they seem to do very well in the water that I have them in. They seem to breed like crazy. Their coloring's not too bad. There's a couple of females in here that have some pretty tails, but this colony's doing good. Next we have the green Cobra Guppies. I think this tank is a little cloudy right now, but I think that I've lost all of the original adults I have, but one or two. I've got a female separated that's pregnant right now, and I think these are all fry that have grown out. All right, here we have the black Cobra Guppies. Haven't lost any of these guys. All the original ones that I got 3 or 4 months ago are all doing fantastic. The only problem is they don't ever seem to drop fry. These are some of the ones that I really, really like, but I can't get them to drop fry. Or if they are, they're just getting eaten. The next tank we have is the yellow Cobra Guppies. I have one original left right here. I've got probably 3 or 4 fry that's left in here. This is one of the tanks that I'm running some tests on again, where I've got it. I've got the whole thing done with crushed coral. I'm trying to see how much the pH is affected on it. So far, we're about 3 weeks in, and I've literally not seen the pH go up any at all. I've been literally taking pictures of my strips every single week so I can compare them to each other. All right, next tank we have is red Tuxedo Guppies. These were another one that I was having some problems with. You can see that I still have the same original male. He's still doing good, and I've got maybe 1 female left. But this was another one that I had hundreds of, and it's probably down to probably 40 or 50 or so. So I've got a full thing of crushed coral in this one also. It seems to be making a pretty big difference. This is one of the ones that I had a really bad, I was having some really bad pH drops because the alkalinity was being used up so quickly. Another thing that I didn't realize at first that was happening. All All right, this tank is the Red Leopard Guppies. These are some of my favorites. As you can see with this male, he is absolutely stunning. And I love the females. The females have just beautiful coloring. I mean, these could be my favorites. I haven't quite made up my mind yet, but I do really love them. Again, especially the females, just beautiful, beautiful tails. As you can see, they've had quite a few fry that are in here. All right, next we have the red albino guppies. These guys are doing great too. Have all the same ones that I originally got. Again, these are some of my favorites too. Again, because the females have so much color, and the males look really good. Again, you see the plastic plants that are in here. These are another one that I have not seen drop any fry yet. I think that one female right there, I'm probably going to separate, see if I can't get her alone. Okay, this is the tank that I moved the Discus to. Again, that's the only one that I have left now as he goes to hide. From a previous video, someone had mentioned that that it just didn't look like these came from a very good line. It looked like there was a lot of issues in their shape and size. So I don't know if that's just what the problem was. You know, I was typically doing 90% water changes almost every single day, so I couldn't have really give them any cleaner water. So again, this is the last one left. When I first got in, I was really excited about Discus. I thought that's what I was going to do, but now I've grown pretty much completely disinterested in them. Some of the adults I wouldn't mind having, but I'm going to have to buy a big show tank for that. Okay, here we have the Twisted Galaxies. These guys I like a lot also. This is another, again, from a local breeder. They have some pretty good coloring. Females are pretty boring, but they're ones that have done really well. Okay, so these tanks right here, this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, these are all ones where I am separating the mothers. This tank right here has all snake skin. These guys are less than a month old. I have a female green Cobra in here. She's yet to have her fry yet. Got a purple Moscow in here. There's probably 20 or 30 fry that are in there. Typically I remove the mothers about 5 days after they give birth, just to give them some time to kind of heal and relax before I put them back in with the males chasing them. I've got one of the Twisted Galaxy Guppies in here. They've yet to have fry. You see some small ones in here, but that's because they got caught in the net when I brought them over here. This is the Bluegrass Guppies. These you can see the size of these females. They're huge. I've got two females that are both the same size, and whenever they have fry, they have at least 50 at a time. So those ones that are back there right now are from a previous female of about 2 weeks ago. So I went ahead and put this one in here also. So you can see she's got to be really close. And then over here, these are the American Kois. I've got 3 females in here. One's had hers, the other ones haven't yet. These are the 6 tanks again that I've got the drip system on, so I'm constantly changing, I don't know, 2 or 3 gallons of water a day on them. I want to do more, but I'm gonna have to hook it up to a bigger water supply before I can actually do that. Thanks again, guys, for joining me for the final update of the fish room. I really appreciate you guys stopping by. Be sure and leave a comment if you haven't commented already. If you guys haven't picked up your calendar, be sure and check the link below to pick up the 2008 Fish Fam calendar. And thanks again, guys, for stopping by, and God bless.